Okay, so number 28. Vertical stretch by a factor of 3 and a translation 3 units up, and then followed by a reflection in the x-axis. So my vertical stretch by a factor of 3, that means I multiplied the whole thing by 3. So 3 times x cubed minus 3x squared plus 2 gives me 3x cubed minus 9x squared plus 6, and a translation 3 units up plus 3. So total I have 3x cubed minus 9x squared plus 9, followed by a reflection in the x-axis. And remember with that one, that means that we're going to multiply the whole thing by a negative. So my new g of x is negative 3x cubed plus 9x squared minus 9. I promise that the more you do these, the easier they're going to become, and they'll click, because I know that they're kind of hard. Okay, stop it. I have people in here. Okay, next one, f of x is 3, anyway, it's this polynomial. I thought you guys were trying to get my attention. Okay, all right, reflection in the y-axis and a vertical shrink, followed by a translation 1 unit up. And I know also that it says followed by. Make sure you do things in order. It doesn't always make a difference, but sometimes it does. Okay, so reflection in the y-axis. F of x, that's going to be f of negative x, right? So 3 of negative x to the 5th minus x, negative x to the 3rd, plus 5 times negative x squared plus 1. Well, negative x to the 5th is just negative x to the 5th. So I have negative 3x to the 5th. This is going to be negative x cubed, but then I have another negative here, so this is positive x cubed. This is going to become a positive, so plus 5x squared plus 1. Let me just double check myself here. Yep. And a vertical shrink by 1/2. So now I'm going to multiply everything through by 1/2. So I have negative 3/2 x to the 5th plus 1/2 x to the 3rd plus 5/2 x squared plus 1/2. Okay, followed by translation 1 unit up. So I'm going to add 1, but I can also write 1 as 2/2, right? Because I need a common denominator. So my final answer is g of x equals negative 3/2 x to the 5th plus 1/2 x to the 3rd plus 5/2 x squared plus 3/2. So those last two are a little trickier. We have 3 different things going on. Okay, the last 2. All right, determine the x-intercepts and the degree of the polynomial. Then sketch the graph of the following functions. Hang on a second. I've got that line there. Oops. Okay. All right, so x-intercepts. Hopefully those are pretty easy. X-intercepts are also the solutions, also the roots. Okay, so x-intercepts, we have negative 3 and 2. And if you want to write them like this, negative 3, 0, and 2, 0, that's fine too. Now the degree means that if, well, you know what the degree of a polynomial is, but if I were to multiply this whole thing out, my highest degree would be a 4, because this would be, if I multiplied this out, this would be an x squared, and this would be an x squared, and then you multiply those together, and you would get x to the 4th. So it's of degree 4. And like before, I made a table. And this this one didn't turn out so great. -4 went up to 144. -2 went to 64. I already know that -3 is one of my x-intercepts. Okay. -1 is 144. 0 is 144. 1 is 64. 3. So this graph is actually quite ridiculous. Okay. I know that one of my x-intercepts is a -3, and I know one is a 2. And I know it's positive, so it's going to open up. And since this is a 2 and this is a 2 here, I know that they're both going to bounce. But they get big really, really quick. So basically, it looks, what we can see, it looks like this. All right, finally over here, we're going to have the same problem, unfortunately. My x-intercepts are 4, -3, and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 6. Here's -3. My degree, I have an x here, and one here, and one here. And they're at the beginning of the polynomial. So I have 1, 2, 3 of them. So my degree is 3. So if I multiply this whole thing out, it would start with an x to the 3rd. All right. So it's positive. It's of degree 3. So I know again that it's basically going to look like that. So it's going to cross over like this. I did a table again. And again, the numbers were kind of wonky. So -4 is -40. -1 is 35. 0 is 36. 2 is 20. 5 is -4, and 7 is 15. So the only ones that fit on the graph are the x-intercepts, and 5, -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that this at least goes like this, and then it's going to get really, really big. This one is off the chart. This one is also off the chart, and then it comes down like that. Okay? All right. If you found any mistakes, please let me know so that I can make a note of that. Like I said already, I noticed a mistake on the written. Number 22, I have -56 there at the end. It should be -63. So there's one mistake. All right, but if you have any questions, please, please, please do this review. Please get it all on here, what I just did, and study it like crazy, and you will do fine on the test. Let me know if you have any questions.